Desiree and Drew, welcome and thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks, Clazy. Thanks for having us.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Drew, can I start with you? Tell us a little bit about how your experience and how you found yourself homeless.
Oh, look, like everyone has hurdles in their life, and mine came at a certain time, and I wasn't able to deal with them. When young, some people don't. They can learn behaviours and learn things that they're unable to. A lot more difficult to shed later on in life. So I think I learned things that I shouldn't have, and didn't learn things that I needed to. That became a real blocker for me over the following years. Something that was very hard to shift. Through family breakdown and childhood trauma and stuff like that, I found myself homeless. It was a very tough thing to shift. After that, like I said, as a adolescent, if you learn certain things, they're very hard to unlearn later. And also as an adolescent, you have an opportunity to learn. And if you're learning the wrong things, whether it's self-inflicted, whether you're teaching yourself or whether it's through your circles or lack of or whatever, it can be a difficult thing to shift. So I found myself in that position where I didn't have the skills that I needed didn't know how to use the skills that I needed to have to function properly in society.
And Desiree, welcome.
Thank you. I looked after an ailing friend in her home. She was 97,
Right.
and she'd been in the house for 60 years with her husband, and he'd passed, and she was becoming more fragile and had Alzheimer's disease. And I looked after her for 8.5 years, then she went to God. And then I got a place to rent on my own for a couple of years and had to move that. But I've had a head injury.
Yeah.
So the task of packing up and moving and everything became overwhelming to me. So I ended up in the car, and I was in the car for about 6 to 8 weeks, and my health failed. So I ended up in hospital from there. And when the hospital found the Salvation Army, the Beacon, the place at the Beacon for me,
Right.
which was an absolute godsend. It's been really beneficial for me. Yes.
Yeah. One thing we all want is hope, isn't it? Hope for the
Yes,
future.
that's right.
And I like your motto from life, about life, Drew, about not being able to change your past, but you engineer your future. It's about having a plan.
That's right. And
Exactly, yeah.
that's what the Beacon has given me, and the Salvos has given me.
Yeah.
Absolute. It's given me the few months to get my head together and
Right.
become focused on getting myself in a new rental accommodation.
And both of your stories just highlight, I guess, what one of the things we're trying to highlight with this campaign as part of Homelessness Week is that, we all have really individual stories.
Yes.
And the way that the dominoes fall, whether it be through, drug addiction or just life. We're all just a few steps away from finding ourselves in trouble. And
that's it.
But I really see a massive failing on the in the mental health system. Like if you really look around and look at the people in the street, a lot of them are suffering from a lot of issues.
Clearly,
and
yes,
we're falling short there as a society. And it's really sad. I've got friends in the Mental Health Commission. I hope they're not cross at me for saying this, but I really think we really need to look at that to have more areas like the Salvos and the Beacon that can stand up and support people in so many different aspects of their lives, not just putting a roof over their head, but help them with their health issues, help them with counselling, support, faith, all kinds of stuff. The volunteering options that are there, that's my shirt.
Yeah,
so,
I noticed that, yeah.
That was a really great step to be able to engage with volunteering as I came through the Beacon myself.
Yeah.
Then made me start to feel like, hang on a minute, like a sense of pride, a sense of self, you've done some self-achievement. That holistic service option that is available with a few of the services that we have out there is brilliant. For me, it worked a treat.
Yeah.
Well, Drew, forgive me for, packaging your life like this, but, you found yourself homeless as a teenager. You were homeless right up until you were 23. You had a methamphetamine addiction. You were going through this for a very long time.
Yeah.
And now through that sort of assistance and through those services, you're now completing your psychology degree at university. You're working for this Doorways program and helping others. So, your life can turn around, but who are the people that you needed to really get that? Is there something that we as a community can do to help?
Look, that's a tough one. Like I said, I'm blessed that I didn't have as massive as a barrier as some do. So I was lucky in that case. I had to reach my own rock bottom for me personally, and I woke up. Look, I'll be honest. I woke up in custody, realizing that I'd pushed everyone and everything away from me, and that I was doing everything wrong, and that I couldn't function on self-will anymore. That I didn't know better. So I had to say, okay, I'm just going to have faith, follow other people's advice and other advice given to me, and do things the exact opposite. From there, I was able to, as I said, I had a whole system of support from the Salvos, where I had people visiting me. I had the Beacon. I had some volunteer work. I had a friendship circle. I had my church and my faith involved there. So much counselling, the Beacon, so you have a roof over your head. Pretty much you have all senses of your identity are gratified and are met with parts of the service, and that really helps. So I'd say for people in that situation, reach out to the Beacon, give it a try. Don't be scared. Don't worry. I know sometimes there is a bit of a misconception out there on the street that we see, Kimber, as you might have noticed on the street outreach. There is a misconception that, it's too expensive. Some people say, well, that's not true. It's not at all. It's ridiculously cheap. You've got a fantastic roof over your head. You've got electricity, gas, hot water, 5 meals a day, counselling, support, recreation, all there, and it's
everything is there.
And you've got money left over on your benefit or whatever. So for people out there, try that. Just allow them to help you with your life. Trust them, and things can change from there. They really can.
You can see why people will lack trust if they've been let down by others before, and that's why really good, solid role models are so important in our lives, aren't they?
Yeah,
People who can assist.
Yeah. It's as I've said, it's a godsend because you feel safe. I've been out barely 3 times since I've been there because I haven't needed to go anywhere else. Everything is provided there. It's been really beneficial just so I can collect myself and just be peaceful find that sense of peace within myself again, and it's been really beneficial. But homelessness, you never expect that you find yourself in this predicament, and it can happen to anybody.
Absolutely, it can.
To anybody.
And this is a question that I don't know if you guys will know the answer to, but it's something that I think when I walk around the streets and I see people in fairly desperate situations and doing it very tough, and I'm thinking to myself, why are they not approaching the services? Are there enough beds there? What can we do to get them? And you've sort of half answered that, haven't you? In that people don't want to reach out for their various challenges?
Various challenges. A lot of the time, they might have an associate on the street who wasn't ready at the time, who might have had now, it's not a bad experience, but they might have deemed it as a bad experience. They might have been aggressive or intoxicated or something, overly intoxicated, and been asked to leave. But it's obviously the community is of greater need than the individual there. So if one person's becoming violent, smashing things, threatening people, they will have to leave. But then that one person might go back to the community on the street and say, oh, no, they're rubbish, they're blah, blah, blah. But it's not the case. They're fantastic. Yeah, you have to kind of tone it down a little bit. You can't threaten people, or you can't be too intoxicated, or preferably not at all whilst on the premises. But if you really, really want to change your life, and it is possible. And I think that might be the answer to your question, Matt, is I think people lose belief in themselves. After a while, you start with these this self-talk, these self-manifestations that are like, I'm on the street, I can't do anything, look, I'm dirty now, I smell, I'm not worthy, I'm on drugs now because of my current issues, I can't do it. And I think they need need to just be propped up a bit and to believe in themselves they can do it.
I'd say that's reinforced by the fact that if we're walking past and we're not acknowledging people on the street and we're not smiling at them, we're not saying hello, then you become invisible, and
Absolutely.
that's further concreting those self-manifestations that you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you have to be ready for it.
Sure.
Within yourself, you have to be ready
right.
for it. You can't force somebody to,
No.
because then if you do force them into some sort of accommodation like the Beacon, anywhere, they will do something to make them get kicked out.
Mm-hmm.
So
they
will
they're
upset.
half-hearted.
They're not ready. They won't. They'll do something silly to make them not fit in and that sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
So they'll be asked to leave.
It's almost like if they're half-hearted, they become self-destructive.
That's right. Self-destruction. That's the way to say it. Yes.
Very, very good point. Very intuitive that was.
Yeah.
It's true.
Have seen it at the Beacon where some people have not been ready to be helped,
Right.
and they will do something self-destructive.
Yes.
And they have had to be asked to leave, and that is not the best place for that's not what the Salvation Army wants either.
No.
They want people to be helped, and that's what their aim is with the Beacon and other places.
But believe it or not, most of these services, and I won't just go on about the Salvos, but the Salvos and most of the other services are prepared for that and will be there.
Yes.
I mean, I went through that myself the first couple of times I went there. I wasn't ready and didn't know how to change or didn't want to change certain behaviours.
That's true.
But they were always there. They were always there waiting for me to be ready. And when I was, they just got behind you, and the support and the love they give you is amazing. So they will be there. If you've had a bad run there before, or you weren't ready last time, don't think that you're written off, because they're very patient, and they'll give you another crack. And that the people that work in this kind of industry are loving, as is the majority of the community, just loving, caring people that want everyone to be successful. And
That's right.
I believe that too. I think most people in the community feel great sympathy for what's going on, and they just don't know how to channel that energy.
Yeah, what's it like? It must be soul-destroying when you see people deliberately cross the road when they see you. That invisibility can be
something you ask what you can do. Just buy them a sandwich.
Yeah.
And a cup of coffee. That would be something, a gracious act like that it is, as I said, gracious. And that's something that is really nice.
They're giving us a connection, giving us the time of day, definitely, because like you asked, Clezzy, when someone might cross the street or whatever, it adds to that internal dialogue, and you start thinking, I'm a piece of crap. Like, people don't want to be near me. You know, they want to cross the road. I don't deserve this.
A simple smile.
Yeah.
That's sometimes all you have to do.
Recognition, there's a fellow human right there who's maybe doing it a bit tougher. Yeah. And in any way, is there any actions that people do take that's deemed patronising if you're on the street? Or is it just that any connection's pretty much good as long as it's positive?
I think if you're authentic, I think my experience has been authenticity, authentic connection with different people who are sleeping rough or having a bit of a battle. They've always really received it well. Even if they seem pretty aggressive or whatever at the time, just saying, hey, are you all right? Well, what's going on for you, mate? And it can make all the difference. It can really de-escalate a situation or make someone feel valued. And
brilliant.
And if you don't have money to give, you can give time, you can give service, you can give a bit of support, love, referral, any kinds of things. So we're all in different stages in life, and some people might be very busy but have money and they can give money. Some of us might have a little bit more free time but not have money, so we can give service, and and all of us can give a bit of love and support. And so
Great. Thanks you too. Great to see you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Guys.